Shut up and sit down. And sit down.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 360 Sports Show. Finally, at long last, coming to you on a Monday night, our regularly scheduled time. Thank you for finding us here live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I am Andrew Pizzelli. He is Christian Lauber, and we will be getting into all of the biggest stories from the past week in sports. And Christian, I think we should start with the things that we're probably going to be able to move right along through and leave the things that we're going to just sit and dilly-dally on for a little later in the program. So first, I want to get your thoughts. And if you have thoughts as well, you can drop those in the comment section of the live streams or email the360sportshow@gmail.com. Thoughts on NBA All-Star Weekend and its various products?
Overall, it's fine. I am in and out on the game. It's not a thing that I'll sit through the entire way. I'll watch the intros and all the kind of like silly stuff, and then throughout the game I'll kind of ebb and flow. I'll duck out and come back in. The dunk contest I thought kind of sucked this year. 3-point contest I think is always entertaining. And I didn't even catch if there even was a skills competition, but I did not get to watch that. And then the celebrity, I don't tune into. So overall, the weekend, I give it like a B-. Now that's like maybe a C+. I think the game itself was actually kind of entertaining last night, and I think the 3-point contest is fine. But in terms of like me tuning in just nonstop, it's just not something I'm going to do. So that's just my personal bias probably. But some elements of it are entertaining. But I give C+ overall.
I sense some resentment for the celebrity game. Is that just because they haven't invited us yet?
There's a little of that. Yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, if Machine Gun Kelly's getting in there, why can't I get in there,
Christian Lauber does have a nasty 3-point shot, for those that don't know.
Steph Curry. Some call me Steph Curry.
Yeah, I mean, my lead thing off of the weekend is first, Steph Curry is an absolute robot. I mean,
oh yeah,
he was doing this last year, and he does this. What's crazy is he does this in games too, which is like we see guys do things in skills competitions or dunk contests or the All-Star game that no one would do in real games. No, Steph does shoot from like half court in games too, and make them. He kept heat checking himself, and then they just kept going in, so he had to keep taking more, a record amount of threes for the All-Star game, but. He's just not a robot at all. I mean, if you're going to watch the game, that was probably the most, just the shooting display. And it made me think a little bit about, we've had this discussion about where's the NBA going and the 3-point shot. And Steph getting that record, is this the last time that record's going to, like, mean something? I know I've kind of said, like, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, like, those are two also just incredibly great 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
I think maybe more all-round player, like because of what those guys could do defensively too. Better two-way player than Steph is. Steph is obviously more than a 3-point shooter than those guys were. He can handle the ball and the things he can do as a point guard. And I've wanted to know, like, if Ray Allen or Reggie Miller played in today's league, what numbers would they have put up, right? Getting to shoot. Even Ray Allen, which wasn't a long time ago, you maybe only took like 10 threes as a team
sure,
at times. Now you got guys themselves taking 10. So I think that debate could be had, like if Ray Allen played today and played through the same period, or Reggie Miller played through the same time period as Steph Curry with the game the way it is. What would the numbers look like? Debatable. I cannot debate. Nobody touches Steph's range. It's sick. And it's not like it's not like he's heaving back and throwing it like a quarterback. He's just shooting from 45, 50 feet away effortlessly. And he's not banking it in. It's not ugly. It's just thwap.
Nothing but bottom.
Done. So his display was just amazing. I agree with you. Dunk contest, dud. And why is it dud? No stars. The stars don't want to do it. It's like the Pro Bowl. Who wants to go?
How can you fix something like that, though?
Well, I mean, Stephen A. wants to have a national, dunk contest, and we just go out and find the best dunkers who, honestly, yes.
I think that'd be better.
There's people who dunked better at Wilson Park and Boone Street and everything than were dunking last night in the game. I know some of them. They would have put on a better show than what we got last night, which was watching NBA players who aren't dunkers struggle to dunk the ball. We don't want to watch guys struggle. We don't want to see guys take 5 tries. We want to see somebody nail something crazy on the first go-round. It was just, I mean, and I like Obi Toppin. Like, he's my boy. But, I don't know. There was just no flair for last night. And it was, I mean, Stephen A. said, I agree, a national embarrassment for the game of basketball. The worst dunking outing in the history of the sport. So, yeah, I mean, they got to do something.
Sounds like hyperbole, but I understand the point.
This it's a trend, right? The game, the dunk contest has gotten worse and worse. Honestly, since you robbed Aaron Gordon. Once you did that, twice. He got robbed twice.
Dwayne Wade, man. That's the curse of Dwayne Wade.
Since then, the dunk contest is even, because it was going downhill and it was starting to come back, and it's downhill again.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you fix it. One thing I hope they never fix. I love it for the All-Star game. I don't know if it'll ever go beyond this. Adam Silver wants to have his in-season tournament and all that stuff. The Elam ending. I love it. I think it's, and you can see what it does. It makes basketball kind of more of its purest form. We're not intentionally fouling people. You still get buzzer beaters. I mean, you still have 24 seconds to get a shot. And you can have, how exciting is it to have at some point, hey, next shot wins. Like, that's exciting. You still have excitement. I don't know if it'll ever become a part of regular season games or real games that matter. But I like it. It removes a lot of what's awful about the last 2 minutes of a basketball game, which is hack.
Free throws.
It keeps basketball. I don't know. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know about a real game. I think it's good for the All-Star game. It's definitely helped the All-Star game and made it more compelling than like playing 4 quarters, where three and a half, three and 3/4 of those quarters nobody tries, and they're all just kind of it's kind of just a show entertainment. And then they try in the last 5 minutes. This kind of makes it more compelling at the end. Not that guys are like going all out or trying to injure themselves or anything like that, but it makes it more compelling, keeps it interesting. And regular season games, I don't know. We'd have to debate that more. But for the All-Star game, I like it.
Yeah, it's exciting. And you know what? As opposed to where the dunk contest, where guys don't want to be a part of it, you have Ja Morant, who's literally one of the best in-game dunkers and is a phenomenal athlete, being like, no interest. The players get more hyped up during the Elam ending.
Yeah.
Because it's just back to pickup days. And the intensity was there. Right down to the end, which of course, in Cleveland, game ends with the ball in LeBron's hands. And talk about, again, it mattering. I mean, Joel Embiid had a legit, he came to double and closed out LeBron. This is legit. That was not a, all-star, put the hand up. No, he, came to, jump on top of him. Of course, LeBron hits the shot, wins the game for his side in Cleveland. All week, because now, is it him just, throwing a bone to Cleveland? We're in Cleveland, and he wants to stay nice. He says, never close the door on returning to Cleveland.
Even if it's for one day. That's probably what he means.
Hopefully. Because I wanted to know because now LeBron has never done what some of these other stars have done. James Harden, right? I don't want to be in Houston anymore. I know I just signed a big deal, but I don't want to be here anymore, so trade me. And here's where. LeBron's never done that. He honors his contracts. He plays them out. And then he just does what he wants, as is his right to do. If he wanted to go back to Cleveland, again, would that be good for the NBA? Would it be good for him to go back there? Does it even have any weight anymore? I'm coming back to Cleveland. Now it's like, why? Because they have a good young team that you could win a championship with?
Yeah.
Would it be? I don't think it would be a good story anymore.
I think the only place it would be a good story is for Cleveland themselves, because they'd be happy to have him back. Probably for everything outside, I don't care anymore.
Well, I mean, but would they? Would they even want him? I mean, hey, you think we'll have to get?
That's like saying Tom Brady comes back to the Patriots or something like that. Yeah, 100%.
That's different though, because the Patriots don't. I mean, they don't have that level of quarterback yet, right? And we still think that Tom can be a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Let's not go too far with the Cleveland Cavaliers yet, okay? They're playing well this year. They're probably another year or two away.
Okay, but do you gonna what? Say, okay, do what the Nets did? Let's ship these guys away, and we'll get LeBron back. I mean, if he wants to come cheap, sure. I don't think they're going to be like, all right, let's carve out $40 million so we can.
No. It wouldn't be something like that. It would be something like the end of his career. Who knows? Maybe they trade their life worth of picks and players for Bronny, and LeBron and Bronny go back to Cleveland together. Hey.
Well, hey, that was my conspiracy theory, was that the Cavs do that, but that was before they started getting good here. I don't know. I think if you're Cleveland, wouldn't you feel dirty? Like, oh, we can't ever do it without LeBron. Like, he came back, he did you a solid. Now I think, wouldn't you want to show that you don't need him anymore? Like, it's fine. He came back, then he left again, and everybody was kind of okay with it. It's time to move on. I'm wondering what this is all about. This is why I love Twitch. It doesn't even show. Squid 1, 2, 3. Squid 2, 3. Fantastic.
Good old Twitch crew.
Twitch crew. We love you, Twitch crew. I think it would be bad for the NBA, just because it just. Meh. But granted, I wouldn't be. How about this, Christian? Would you be shocked?
No. But I also here's where I'm coming from. This is why I say it's not a bad thing or a good thing. I just don't care anymore. I don't think anybody cares. He already went back there. He won a championship, and then they went their separate ways. If he comes back again, say at the end of his career or something like that, for a final year or two. Does anybody care except for Cleveland? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's not like another... You don't get two homecomings. This is not the way it works.
That's what I'm saying. I can't... So we agree. We're saying it in different ways. I don't understand what the allure would be for LeBron. He's in LA because didn't he want to go there to be a business guy and grow his brand? You're going to what? Go back to Cleveland again? Now I feel like you're kind of ruining your image, which is something I think he's very conscious of. We'll have to get resident Cavs fan Zach Weiss up here on the show and get the actual Cavs. He runs the Across the Cavs podcast. We'll have to get him on here and see what is the wine and gold take. Would they want LeBron back? I bet you it would be split. I think
if they're not trading for him. If they're not trading for him and they're strictly just signing him to $20 million, $15 million at the end of his career, I think. Anybody that says no, they're freaking lying. 100%.
We'll have to find out. So let's talk while we're on the NBA. Last show we did, which was not that long ago. It was a Wednesday show after the Super Bowl. We were discussing the trade deadline and the NBA and the Boston Celtics with Matt Murphy, who we appreciated him coming on to break all that stuff down for us. Meanwhile, the Celtics were playing the Detroit Pistons, riding a 9-game win streak, leading in the game, and stunk it up for the last 4 minutes of the game. And
by the way, the Pistons were on a 7 or 8 game losing streak, so yeah, not ideal.
Yeah, and so they lose that game to head into the All-Star break. So they don't win 10 in a row. They win nine in a row and then lose and have a sour taste in their mouths heading to All-Star weekend. Christian, is it good or bad that they lost that game? Or does it really, we'll have to wait and see here to know whether it was good or bad.
I don't think it's a great loss because of how bad the Pistons are and how good you were playing. I would say it's not great. However, the sample size here in the last couple of months is bigger than just the 9-game win streak. They're about 16-4 in their last 20, or 16-5 in the last 21 now. So let's see how it looks coming out of the All-Star break. If they lose 2 out of 3 here quickly, then I mean, look out. But as of now, it was a bad loss in my opinion. But I'm not losing sleep over one loss before the All-Star break, especially if they come back and they start rolling again. If they don't, then you're in trouble, and then you have to, question it. But, if Rob Williams and Smart can get back on the floor, it'd be nice because I think they need those 2 guys. Those are 2 key pieces for your roster. And so now you have to – I mean, this is where the season starts here, right? You're almost towards the top of the standings. It's not like you're way out of it. So you could easily make the top 3-4 in the conference. So – this is really where it happens.
Yeah. Colin in the comment section.
Colin with his biased Tatum is bad take.
Pretty gross, almost as bad as Tatum's performance in the All-Star game. Hey, I would rather Tatum play bad in the All-Star game and good in real games. I mean, in a way, I think it was good that Jaylen Brown didn't get it. I think for those guys, I would have been fine if Tatum didn't get it. Honestly, he probably got it because they had a good, late January, early February. But prior to that, I don't think either one of them deserved. Reputation goes a long way, gets those guys in once you're
NBA.
in. But I didn't think that for a while there that either of them deserved, and I thought it would have been good for them because that we figured that's what means more to these guys, getting these accolades, and maybe that smacks some sense into them.
I just think those 2 guys were playing very well before the break. So I could give 2 poops about the All-Star game. I don't know. Like if you come out and win another 5 games in a row, then you're cooking. But the All-Star game means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean you hope that, like I said, you don't want to break the spell, right? It looked like the team was locked in and focused, and they were doing it with defense and hard work and sharing the ball. And
this is why I say I want to see what it looks like coming out, right? Because that's a bad loss to Detroit, no doubt about it. And now if you come out of the All-Star game here, out of this little break, and you just start losing games left and right, like before that 9-game win streak or before those, this 20-game set, then you're in trouble. And I think you just go back to being that team that's just endlessly frustrating because we've seen the potential. You can win 9 games in a row pretty handily in most of them, and you've played good teams.
Yeah.
And then you just falter back. I mean, that's just not a good look. You got to come out here and you got to start rolling once again.
Yeah, I mean, right now, currently the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, 2 full games back behind the Bucks, Cavs, and Sixers. And so you're 2 games away from leaping from 6th to 3rd. And then the Bulls and the Heat above you by another 2.5 games. So it's real close. I mean, those top 6 teams, Raptors somehow fought their way out of the basement now. They're the 7th seed. The Nets, who obviously have been tumbling, 7 games out of first. They're how many games in the playoffs? They're only 2.5 games away. The Nets, the Brooklyn Nets. Oh, sorry, no, they are 3.5 games away from just being out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's crazy to think about. Given even with that trade, the talent, honestly, in a way, the talent they have now, getting rid of Harden and adding Curry and those guys. So,
but if you ask me, you're the Celtics. You're coming out of the All-Star break at Brooklyn, at Indy, at Detroit. 3 pretty winnable games. Goran Dragic is not going to save the next season, to my knowledge. I wouldn't think.
No,
you should probably go 2-1, 3-0. I think 3-0 is like, I would like to say you have to go, but on the road, I would say at least 2-1 out of those 3 games.
Yeah, I think if there was one to lose, and you'd be like, well, okay, it'd be the Pacers.
Yeah,
second night of the back-to-back, because you got to imagine it. You'd hope there's some fire and vinegar, and they want to absolutely romp the Pistons the way they romped the Sixers. Before the All-Star break, win by 50. I want to see them beat the Nets, beat the Pistons, And whatever they do against the Pacers, it's regular season, second night of back-to-back. That'd be 3 games, 4 days. I get it. It's fine. You should be rested. You're young.
Yeah.
You just had a nice break. But yeah, I would
getting those guys healthy too.
Yeah, I would expect winning. If you told me I had to win 2, I want the Nets and the Pistons. Start 2-0. Gotta. You just build back that.
I agree. Yep.
That good mojo. So yeah, we talked about the buyout market last week. Dragic. Yeah, you don't think Brooklyn's just doing the same thing they were trying to do last year? It's just all. It's gonna be a hobbled Kevin Durant, no Kyrie Irving at home, and spare parts, along with Seth Curry. That's it.
Yeah, and all these guys still want to go there. I don't know. They saw it last year, but it's the same. It's Millsap, Aldridge. All these guys want to go there. Blake Griffin, because they're trying to hitch themselves to Durant, I guess, right?
Yeah.
If he's healthy, but yeah, I like Dragic, but I just he's not the end all be all. If Durant's not healthy, the Nets are not going anywhere. I mean, that's just factual.
Agreed. I always peek at the breaking news because there's always something, it seems, that we miss. Oh boy! Well, this is slightly breaking news. I didn't notice this picture. We'll put this on the live stream. Let me go ahead and get this. Paul Pierce just posted this. To my surprise.
Oh, with Ray Allen?
Yeah. Here we go.
And KG, yeah.
All of them. All of them together. Smiles. I mean, Rondo and KP aren't there, or Big Baby, so you don't actually have the whole gang that was really up in arms about Ray Allen. But that's going to be the first public picture of the 3 of those guys together smiling in a while, right?
Yeah.
Surprising.
100%, yeah.
Very surprising.
Especially the 2 to the left-hand side.
Yeah. So, with that being the case, we are going to get along to Hot and Not.
It's time for Hot.
Hot.
You want to talk about hot?
Hot.
Please stop doing that.
Doing what?
Continue. Go ahead.
And not.
God, is he a moron? Oh my God, he doesn't shut up.
It's so stupid.
Stupid decisions.
Dum-dums. The naughtiest knot of the year.
Oof. Suck fest. Suck sauce.
On the 360 Sports Show.
All right, Christian. Hot and not, up and down, good and bad. What do you got first?
I just posted that for you. Now, I mean, look, we already knew. I know this beef was between Allen and Garnett, but the clip is still funny, so I'm just going to use it anyway.
I will.
I could easily say Steph Curry is my hot, but I just thought it was funny, even though I thought before this picture that you just showed, I saw that earlier. I thought this beef had ended a while back because they had all gotten together, but Kevin Garnett's reaction to Ray Allen walking by, obviously Braun is thanking him for that championship that he got him. KG's reaction compared to everybody else is just hilarious. I just thought it was funny, and obviously I don't think they have any beef anymore, but
no.
Kevin Garnett's an all-timer. I love the guy. So I saw this and I said, you know what, I think it's just perfect. Just the way things have gone the past 10 years between these guys. It's just like everybody's Pierce is clapping, nice little golf clap. LeBron's like, thanks for the title. Garnett's like, let me clap at the end of this.
Yeah. I mean, if you were gonna draft, this would be fun. Draft the all-time, all-petty NBA team. I think KG would be up there. He'd be on. I think probably. I bet you Paul made him post with that picture. Like, man, we gotta play nice. We gotta forgive. KG probably would hold a grudge for a long time.
I agree. I don't know if Paul. I think if he's not gonna want to, if he doesn't want to do something, he's not gonna do it.
Pierce. Well, maybe he was stoned.
Maybe that. Yeah. I mean, Pierce has some stuff. So.
Pierce also though, in this, I gotta try and find. There was another good picture, of right. It's kind of like right there. It was of them both, freezing, and it was like, KG and Paul Pierce look like they're trying to meet Ray Allen in the parking lot after. Paul's KG still looks really good. We'll put it this way: KG still looks like he's in shape. Paul Pierce is becoming a shape. That's all I'll say on that.
No further analysis needed. Yeah, one of those guys is enjoying retirement a lot more than the other two.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, how long was he in shape for?
Yeah, he was never necessarily like this slim guy. He was always kind of more of a beefy guy. But definitely, I mean, we've seen the IG lives.
The kids would call that thick, wouldn't they?
Thick with 2 C's. Yeah, we've seen the IG live videos. We know Paul Pierce is enjoying himself, having a grand.
True. Yeah, I forgot. I wasn't
time.
even thinking about that. Yeah,
having a grand old time. My hot for the week is the Brian Flores news. Obviously, his lawsuit still wide open. Class action suit. So far, no one else has decided to join on with him. But he's been hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Bravo. Makes a lot of sense. One, another minority head coach. Throwing Flores a bone. Like I think that there's probably an element to that. All this debate over the Rooney Rule, well, instituted, named after the Rooneys. So they're the team that scoops him up. Whatever the reasons are, it's good for the Steelers. I mean, I think that's a guy that's certainly qualified to be a head coach that's going to be an assistant defensive coach on your staff. The Steelers are much better today than they were yesterday. That team gets a quarterback, that's a dangerous team. And I think it's great that Flores has landed on his feet. He can continue his fight and be in the NFL, which is precisely what we all want to see.
He should be in the NFL, 100%. So whether the lawsuit, I have a feeling it's not going to go anywhere. I mean, does it ever with these things with the NFL? No, but it's good anyway that he's doing it. And number two, the better part is that he's still getting a job. I mean, the guy should be in the league as a coach. Whether you want to say head coach or not, you could debate that. But his track record speaks for itself. He was a pretty good assistant here. He was a pretty good head coach for a crappy Miami team, even though he was told to lose games. Rumor, but
allegedly
good coach, and he helps Pittsburgh immediately. It's not like he's just going to come in there and he has to learn. I mean, he has to learn something about their system, but as a defensive guy, I think we know what he's capable of as a coach.
Getting to the knots, we do have breaking news because I know we have the same knot. Michigan to suspend men's basketball coach Juwan Howard for the rest of the regular season for striking opposing coach during handshake line after game in Wisconsin. That's rather surprising. I thought he would straight up be fired because both of our knots for this week is that whole incident last night. I'll find a video of it for those that did not see. But Juwan Howard basically upset over Greg Gard calling a timeout late in the game. He had his backups in. He didn't want to, something about there's 4 seconds for them to get the ball over half court. He wanted to call timeout and get him into the front court. Some, whole thing. And Juwan Howard didn't like it because it was late in the game and it was a big lead. And those two basically exchanged words in the handshake line. And then Gard tried to keep his, Howard's attention and grabbed him by the elbow, and then it turned into a big argument, and then there was a whole fist fight.
I think it was an assistant
afterwards.
coach though, wasn't it?
It was an assistant coach who ended up being the one who got hit. So let's see here. I heard somebody talking last night. I'm listening to the radio, this Juwan Howard, the punch, and I'm are they pulling up something from his past? What are they talking about? So let's run this here. So final seconds are ticking down. All right, everybody's and this is great. CBS is all right, da 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 da. We're going to break, getting ready to go to commercial. Here's our sponsors. Greg Gard, thank you. How you doing? All right, where's Coach? Oh, here are players. Here's Juwan Howard. He's kind of not even looking at him, and the guard grabs his elbow there. These two kind of start getting into each other's face, so they're now really jawing. And people push him away, and there's an assistant coach here who kind of gets in the way, and bam, right there, kind of like a slap, just about closing the fist, something. The assistant coach gets hit, and then obviously, hey, guess what? Your coach starts fighting. We're going to war, boys. Everybody else joined in. So obviously, not a good look for either side. But for Juwan Howard, I'm stunned that he has a job. I really am. suspending the rest of the year, you must really, really want him to still be your head coach. Really bad. For you to say, well, we'll suspend you for the whole year instead of firing you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Surprising. Your thoughts on this whole ordeal. Something you don't often see, which is coaches throwing bows.
Yeah. Look, I think Howard overreacted. I think that's pretty clear. Like, major overreaction. I think Guard is kind of, I don't know. I think he's involved here somewhere. I don't know where you want to put him on the list. He's not going around open hand slapping guys or punching guys, but I mean, it's kind of a, I don't know what you want to call it.
When the blood is already up and he was already kind of animated and you're like trying to, like, you see that happen? Guys handshake. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, see ya. And they just blow by. He tried to keep him.
Stop him.
It's like he wanted to get, it's like that was probably a bad idea. Does not mean you or your assistant coach deserves to get whacked.
No, of course. But I'm just saying, dude, shake his hand. Don't say anything and just walk on by.
Yeah.
Because he's already pissed off. He's just going to, what are you trying to accomplish there by pulling him by the shirt and then Howard grabs him and it just escalates from there? I mean, Howard obviously is at the top of the list there. You just can't do that. But I don't think Guard should be null and void. He wasn't involved at all. He's fine, clean. No, I think he's kind of involved there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Bad look for basketball. I mean, it's one of those things you never want to see, say, a great game or a good game or two good teams. At the end of it, something turns ugly in any sport, especially, the collegiate level. And those are the types of things that can ruin good games. It's more stunning that it was the coaches.
Yeah.
That it happened, because that is something you'd never see. And it was going to be fascinating to see the result. I mean, I saw Michael McCann, UNH Law, posted a thing right away this morning saying would be pretty easy. Both of these schools could fire these coaches with cause.
100%.
Cut ties right there. Easy peasy. I don't know. I haven't seen anything yet from the Wisconsin side. It's been Juwan Howard getting all the attention.
Yeah, I haven't either.
But that definitely grabbed the not list this week. There must have been something else that was bothering me from this past week, but I have since forgotten because that just took the cake. So that is hot and not.
Yeah, I would have gone NHL player safety if not for that. But outside of
for what? We'll explore. We'll peel it back a little bit. Why the NHL player safety?
Yanni Gord, who laid a hit. I don't know if you watched. I believe it was Vakanainen he hit the other day in the Bruins game. That's how I saw it because I was watching the game. But pretty borderline hit. It was questionable. No message from player safety about a suspension or anything like that. So hit from behind. Okay, so that's fine. You give him nothing. And then 3 days later, he hit Scheifele, member of the Jets. And then all hell broke loose on the ice because of the hit, and still nothing. So it's just like NHL player safety to me is just they're barking up the wrong tree in terms of we're going to suspend Marchand. Obviously, he's a repeat offender. I know the whole thing, and everybody hates him, so they're biased. So he gets 6 games, and then we're still having guys running around like jackasses hitting people from behind. So it just makes no sense. There's just no level of consistency from player safety. So that would have been on my list had Juwan Howard not, decided to become a boxer for a day.
For a moment, that one shining moment. The one thing about the NHL player safety, it's weird. Like, they are one of the most transparent, thing, when it comes to handing down the suspensions and analyzing a play and giving you, this is why this meets this criteria. This is what happened. Here's all the reasons we have, and this is why the suspension is happening. I think they're really great with that.
They used to be. Brendan Shanahan was really good with that. Since then,
and
not great.
It's tailed off, and like you said, the consistency of even who they're deciding to discipline has eroded. Not good. Blech. So, anyways, let's talk a little NFL, and we will discuss the Patriots because we really did not spend a lot of time discussing them last week, and we've had some more things happen since. the biggest questions around this team, I think, coming into next year, there's what you're going to do, to supplement the team. You feel like you have a good team. Do you keep J.C. Jackson? Do you franchise him? Do you trade him? How many players on defense do you draft? All of that. But it doesn't really matter if the people coaching the players, because we know coaching matters in the NFL, are not competent. Are you worried, Christian, about the direction of this Patriots coaching staff? Bring on back Joe Judge. Matt Patricia, you might be coaching offense. We said bring Brian Flores back. That's not happening now. Are you concerned about who will be on the bench for this Patriots staff this year?
Hell yes. I don't know how you can like what they're doing right now. There's no name in there that's like, oh wow, they got a good one there. Like a Flores, like someone like that they're bringing back. No, it's all guys from, I guess, past Patriots years who were decent. But the problem is Patricia was a defensive guy. I think he started on offense years ago. Then he shifted to defensive coordinator and absolutely sucked at it. Then he torched the Lions organization as a whole and got blown out of there. And he came back to sit up in the booth one year. And now he's going to be the O-line, supposedly.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can feel good about that. Same with Judge. He went from special teams to the Giants, sucked there. Now he's going to come back and coach the quarterback, the young rookie quarterback that you're putting all your eggs, you're putting all your eggs in that basket. So Joe Judge is going to be the quarterback's guy now. And this is all reported by, I think it was Albert Breer, who's kind of, and Zoe said something on local radio here as well to the same effect here. And it's just, there's a lot of questions. I just think it's like Bill thinks this is like 2009. He can just coach it up, what's around him. And also Tom Brady's just going to save the day. Well, you don't have Tom Brady. And Bill is questionably losing his fastball. I don't know whether that's the actual case. We'll see here in the next year. But it's just, I have a lot of questions about this team. Number one, from a talent level on defense, just players across, I think their offense is, somewhat okay. But the defense is already not great. They don't have a coordinator there. Matt Judon was on radio and he said, we know who calls the plays, Steve. But Coach Mayo runs the meeting. It's an absolute cluster. I don't know what's going on. And now on the offensive side of the ball, now that McDaniels is kind of yanking people out of there, look out. I do not like Joe Judge being point A for Mac Jones. I just have no faith that that's going to work.
You wouldn't be happy with like quarterback sneaks on 3rd and 9?
Only within your own 10-yard line. Yeah.
We almost had him. Normally, I'd say, hey, Bill's one of the greatest coaches ever. And what makes him great is that he coaches the coaches. The Patriots have always just replaced from within. Take the next guy, bring him on up. Bill maybe helps him along. You coach the coaches coach, their area, and he can kind of oversee things. It feels now, though, like that base is gone. It's eroded. And so guys maybe you're bumping up aren't going one rung. It's like 5 rungs. You were filling water bottles last year. Guess what? You're the wide receivers coach. That's what it feels like. And I agree it's concerning because what it's going to do is it puts more on Bill to like have to sit there and, like we've heard about Bruce Arians doing, take the red marker and go through Matt Patricia's O-line game plan. Or, Joe Judge's offensive scheme. And it's like, dude, no, can't do this. And it's like, oh, wait, no, Steve, no, we don't. That's not the way we want to play cover 2. Gerard, can you show Steve? That's for the Jets game, not the Bengals game. Okay, yeah, okay. No, Joe, no, we are not. I don't want to see this no quarterback offense thing. Can you put it? Matt, why is Matt Judon in the backfield? No, defensive. You want to coach defense? Go coach defense. I just think it's going to put way more on Bill. And at 70 years old, is that what we want? Do we want Bill having to be spread like, an ounce of butter over a loaf of bread? No, we want him to be able to just like sit there and take everything in and be the tactician that he is. Not have to worry about, tying somebody's shoes. I'm worried. I'm concerned.
Yeah.
However, if they somehow can get Bill O'Brien,
Sure.
I think it fixes a lot of problems right away.
100% it helps, right? But I'm sorry, maybe I just have like something against Matt Patricia. I don't know what he does well. I have yet to see anything he does well.
Grows a beard.
Yeah.
He has mastered the beard with the pen in the hat look.
And what does that do for the players and the game? What does that do for the game?
Nothing, but it looks good.
All right, that's fair. So as long as it looks good, who cares what it looks like on the field?
Yeah. I mean, he's really good at congratulating himself for what players have done on the field.
Very true. Yeah, Malcolm Butler's play was definitely his catch. Yeah, his interception. Yeah.
Yeah.
He made a great play. Yeah.
Colin in the comments section, even worse than the lack of a talented mindset with the incoming coaching staff is a lack or organization and direction. Left hand has no idea what the right is doing exactly. Bill's problem of blindly trusting his old buddies is getting worse, not better.
100%.
Zoe is pretty convinced it's too late to get Billy O'Brien here. Yeah, I mean,
I think so too.
It's got to be kind of settled now. I mean, those guys, you're Alabama, you're recruiting. You're installing. You are 2-3 weeks away from non-traditional spring season where you're running practice and getting stuff going. Mm-hmm. And this year they get to be in pads for that. So it could be too late. Now, at the end of the day, a lot will come down to talent. But I worry about, Bill's great. He can't do everything. He can't be offensive, defense, and special teams coordinators. There's a reason those jobs exist.
Right.
He can't be assisting. He can't have his back. Bill's great because think about how many things. The Malcolm Butler whole thing. That all started, Bill, we should take a timeout. Like, we have timeouts. They're probably going to score from the 2-yard line. We want time. And he's just looking across the field, seeing, no, they look kind of confused over there. I don't know. I'm not going to let Pete off the hook. I don't like it. No. Let it run. Nope. I know. I got a timeout. If Bill has to, all of a sudden be, going over and talking with the offense.
That's not ideal.
Instead of paying attention to the game. And guess what? Then when the offense is on the field, he's got to be talking with the defense.
Yeah. It's not ideal. There's no clear-cut roles there. They're not going to have an OC this year. They're not going to. So if Matt Patricia, I think Zoe said this, if Matt Patricia has the play sheet in front of his face calling plays, how do you feel about the offense this year? Because I say not great, not good at all, quite frankly.
I mean, he started, I think Bill's logic, I believe he started as an O-line assistant. So I think his logic is that he knows the system.
But calling plays?
But calling the plays?
Yeah, I love that.
I honestly, I think maybe because he is a good. I don't think he's great. I think he's good. I don't necessarily like the way he wants to play defense, but I think he's good as a defensive coordinator. I think if he was some sort of offensive assistant where he's there and he's helping with, hey, I know defense. Let me look and see what the defense is doing, and then that can inform how we call offense. I get that. Offensive coordinators have to honestly have an understanding of defense because you're calling plays and you're trying to read the coverage. You're trying to basically be a quarterback there too.
Yeah.
So if he was an assistant, but play calling, I don't know. I don't like that. That and for all the gripe we gave McDaniels about stuff, he was a good play caller, right?
Questionable, but I'll say this. For all my gripe with McDaniels, I would absolutely take him over Matt Patricia or Joe Judge any day of the freaking week. You better believe that.
Yeah. Colin says the same thing. Patricia as offensive coordinator / play caller, not pay clawer. Pay clawer.
Got to get one of those a show, so we're good.
Is terrifying. If he was somewhere on D, I'm not too worried. Regardless, the guy is an insufferable D-bag. Colin does not like Matt Patricia.
Not going to disagree with that one.
Any other Patriots concerns?
Let me tell you this.
Christian?
If you take credit for Malcolm Butler's interception, you just lose all credibility. That's it. You're done.
You do, especially when you're Matt Patricia.
Yeah. Who
remember that shape?
At the time,
remember that shape
on,
we were talking about Paul Pierce turning into?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Jesus. And you were on a team that had barely won any games, head coach, and then you took credit for Malcolm Butler's interception. Well, what are we doing? I don't know.
Yeah, not good. Any other Patriots concerns, Christian, or is that it for this week?
I want to see where we move forward, but that's really it. I mean, it's just really from the top on down, the coaching staff. Like, I think they'll figure something out on the field. They'll get some players somehow in free agency, some guy we've never heard of that'll play pretty good. So I'm not too worried about that side of it. Or the drafting seems like it's kind of improved. But now you're losing Ziegler, you're losing McDaniels, you're losing who am I forgetting? The O-line coach. I don't remember his name.
The wide receivers coach too.
Wide receivers coach. And now you're going to fill him with Matt Patricia and Joe Judge. I don't feel great about where they're at right now. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to come up fast. I mean, let's not forget, it's almost March here. They have to get things going on their end in the offseason. So they can't just sit around and wait.
Yeah.
So that's really where the concerns kind of start and end right now. And then we'll worry about the talent issue later because I think they can fill some of those needs in free agency.
Yeah. More smoke this week in the Tom Brady not retired fire. Steve Young believes that Brady is retired from the Patriots. Brady is retired from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He would not retire if he were a member of the San Francisco 49ers. Mike Giardi reported that as well today. It seems like it's just like it's going to be a foregone conclusion when it eventually happens that he decides to come back and the Bucs just have to trade him to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I put it last week at 20%. I think you wanted to put it at 12. You're a nice 1-8. Have we moved the needle on the Tom Brady will come back, return, play, unretire, any of that in 2022?
Yeah, I think there's some movement, but I don't think it'll be for the Bucs. I'll say that. You want me to put a percent on it? Let me go random 19%.
19%. So you're close. You're very close. Very close. Speaking of close, we had this whole debate last week over talk about 1 point. Our Super Bowl picks and our two bones of contention. Who did Cooper Kupp thank first? And does Bud Light? Do you get to use the all-encompassing Bud Light?
I forgot this was even a thing. Why'd you have to bring this back up now?
Because we got to settle it. The listeners want to know.
Super Bowl was old news now. Who cares? But let's hear it. I want to hear it now.
Well, I'd say for the drink thing.
The drink thing, yep.
The drink thing. Our question was which Anheuser-Busch product will get shown first?
Yep.
And I think Bud Light, as you put, has to be Bud Light. It's got to be Dilly Dilly. We're just showing Bud Lights. And so I think that question both of us get wrong. No point. Who did Cooper Kupp thank first? He doesn't really thank anybody. But if he did, the first time he says, I'm thankful, he talks about the guys and the team. So, Christian, I give you your point. And thus, we tie.
That's very respectful of you. Wow. So now, instead of someone winning, much like a regular season NFL game, we're just going to call it a tie and move on to next year. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's a wash. Although, maybe I'll dig up, wait a minute. We have to audit these books. So a point got lost somewhere back in the middle of the season. No, not going to do that.
I'll tell you what. Bud Light is closer to Bud Light, no carb crap, whatever that is, than Bud Light Seltzer is to Bud Light. So I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You want to give me 0.5 and you get 0.25? I'll take it.
Yeah, you will take it. Here we go. A Twitch suggestion. Madden tiebreaker. Let's go. I don't think I've ever played you in Madden. That actually would be that would be a live stream. Live stream the two of us playing Madden, waiting for the eventual. Are you a lay back? Would you sit back or would you do
No.
You eventually sit forward.
I'm
edge of
in
your
the
seat.
TV. I'm in the TV. Yeah.
Yeah, I sit right on the edge, glued in, locked on. So maybe that's something we could do. I do think though, because it's like I found myself yesterday, first Sunday without football since August, going like, man, no picks, nothing to do. I think obviously it's too late to scramble for something.
Yeah, we're
now.
gonna do our top 5 favorite foods with cheese on it.
You say that, and now the comment section is gonna
I know.
explode.
Yeah, and they're gonna be like pizza, potatoes. Here they come. Ready?
Ready? Here come the food things. Everybody's favorite cheese foods. Queso on anything. Ooh, the little Babel. The little Babel, the little
Those
cheese,
are pretty good,
cheese in the
actually.
wax.
Solid, like 4 or 5, 6 grams of protein in those.
Yeah. Oh yeah, your protein. What was it? The Natty Lights with the
Natty Light
protein.
strawberry lemonade. They have like 0.5 grams of protein in it.
If you drink 43 of them, you get enough protein for a day.
Now I'll take 20 grams of protein for 40 beers.
But I think, Christian, we should find something sports related, like a sports line, something, and it could be obscure. I'm picking the Bemidji State versus, UConn something, and we'll lay them out and we'll just track. Have a little fun with it. What do you say?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
All right. So next week we'll have a pick segment next week. While we await the start of the NFL season. Colin also says that's MLB lockout season material. Yes. Because that is a coming.
On the horizon.
Here you go. Twitch Vincenzo, Cheez It just came out with their own cheese balls. Pretty good. Pretty good. I have never been a cheese ball guy. I don't know.
Yeah,
like the puff stuff. I don't know.
I ate them when I was a kid. I don't really eat them anymore.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, but I did love Cheez-Its. Every now and again, somebody...
White cheddar, though. You got to go white cheddar.
No. Originals. Yeah. Original. The OG.
Yeah, I knew you'd say that.
You probably ate cheese nips, too.
No, I didn't. No.
I think
I was a Lunchable
nipper.
guy, though.
You're a nipper.
I'm not going to respond to that. But I was a Lunchable guy, that's for sure.
Lunchables. I would have Lunchables. I think we've come again. This the food thing. I never had Dunkaroos as a kid. How sad is that?
Yeah, sad. And you've never had McDonald's?
I've had McDonald's.
Right?
I've never had a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yeah, you're weird.
That's what actually Colin says. That McDonald's burgers and Madden. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's covered everything. We could get Oldoza around. He can referee. Actually, it's McDonald's cheeseburgers and me and you 1-on-1 in the playground.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but
first one to drop loses.
No, but the kicker is you have to use the burgers as gloves. You got to tape them up around your hand.
Oh, goodness. That'll be the new one. Oh, he's got burger hands.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
Is this a sports show?
It is a sports show.
All right.
Christian, the news today, the XFL and The Rock have reached an agreement with the NFL. Their season they'll begin again. Like LeBron coming back to Cleveland. The XFL's coming back in 2023. And they are going to play test rule changes and game things and everything for the NFL. Your thoughts on what that all means and if it's a good thing?
I don't mind it. Why not? I mean, there's no real reason not to. I think this makes more sense of why The Rock was at the Super Bowl randomly after we already had introductions.
Yeah.
But
to flex his with waist wide biceps.
24-inch pythons. I think it's a good thing. I don't mind them testing things out, testing the waters, so to speak. I don't really know why you would hate this. I guess because you hate everything. I don't know if that's just a general you, not you personally. So I don't mind it. I really don't, especially if they're like if they implement whatever equipment changes or new helmets, new stuff like that. I think that's like kind of a good process to use,
Yeah.
especially when the XFL, at least prior knowledge is like they didn't really care about. It was more of a violent sport than the NFL now is these days. So I don't mind it at all, to be honest.
I feel two ways about it. I think it's cool. I think it's good. At least that they're going to be play testing some of this stuff. I mean, all these things we all dream up about, like what if you do this instead of a kickoff, or what if you have this instead of an extra point, or maybe you do instead of overtime you do it this way. All that stuff is going to get played. But here's what's going to happen, right? All these things are going to happen. They're going to implement a whole bunch of things one year, and then the next year, and the next. And then, like, after, 3 years, the NFL will be like, we've now analyzed, we're going to come up with some report of all these changes, and we'll discuss how they could potentially be applied to the NFL. And then that report will come out, like, a year from then, and then findings on the report will come out a year after that, and then the NFL will finally have something which says, like, here's all these proposals, this is what we can do, this is how we're going to change the NFL, we're going to make these rule changes, it would be great for the game, we've demonstrated it, it works at this level, we've play tested it, people want it, players want it, and the NFL is going to take it, and they're going to poop all over it, and they're going to shred it, they're going to burn it, and they're going to throw it in the river. That's what's going to happen.
That was a lot. That was a lot. To be honest with you,
What's going to happen? The NFL is going to want to change? No.
I'll be honest. The only thing I got out of what you just said was poop on it, burn it, and throw it in the river.
No, you shred it. You poop on it, you shred it.
Okay.
And throw it in the river. So
you poop on it and then shred it?
I guess you could poop on it at any time before you burn it. Or I don't know, throw it in the river.
I was just saying, why are you putting poop in the shredder? Not good. You're going to break your shredder. You're going to have to get a new shredder after that.
Depends on what kind of diet you're on.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. I don't know. McDonald's and cheese, it's probably not a good idea.
It does not. Can't shred on.
Yeah. You can't shred on that. No shot.
Oh, that's an all-timer. Fantastic. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any faith that the XFL would, hey, this new overtime format it's really good. Or hey, you don't kick extra points. You have to go for 1, 2, or 3 from a yard line. Any of those sorts of gimmicks. This really works. Or the way they did the kickoffs prior. You don't line everybody up 100 yards away and have them run at each other.
Right.
You have the kicker back there and he kicks it away and everybody's kind of close.
I think if the
NFL won't adopt any of it.
Yeah, if the NFL actually tries to use it, then yeah, I think it would be. I think it could actually make, I guess, positive changes to the NFL game, but I don't have faith that they will. I mean, of course, just judging by how many things go, that get poo-pooed already from coaches or owners or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot of faith that they're actually going to utilize any of that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, players want to hey, can we we don't want to get fined for wearing a sign under my jersey, I lift my shirt and it says I love you, mom, you're fighting cancer, I love you.
Yeah.
And the NFL's answer was we'll give you 1 game to do that.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Cool. We want to figure out a way to how can we better address social issues and all this stuff. Will Wright, end racism in the end zone.
Right.
That's who you're dealing with. Colin in the comment section. And then in 2047, 10 days after Dan Snyder's passing, the NFL will release its findings on its investigation on hostile/inappropriate work environments in its offices. Exactly. Right?
Pretty much.
That's what we're dealing with. So you're right. I mean, we both think the same thing. Opportunity for change and to do something positive. Will the NFL make the most of it? No.
Have they ever? No.
No. So, let's close here with a thought here on the Boston Bruins, who have won back-to-back games for the first time this month. Tuukka Rask gone. Swayman is back in the fold. I think 27 saves here today. 2-1 win, I think, over Colorado.
Best team in the NHL.
So they're trying to get back on the right track. Your feelings about where the Bruins are and I'll check here while you're looking. There can't be too many more games left on the schedule now, since we're on a much more normal yearly schedule now in a not COVID year. Athletically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, tough stretch without your best player, Brad Marchand, for 6 games here. I think he's got, I want to say it's one more after today that he's going to be on the shelf with that suspension. But all in all, they were on the road. A couple bad losses. You don't like the Islanders lost 4-1. You kind of get blown out, and they're not very good this year. They're not the team they were the last few years. And you get 1 point against the Rangers in a game that you probably should have won. You give up a goal late to them, so you don't love the taste coming out of there. But Ottawa, you beat twice on that trip, and all in all, I want to say now you're 3-3. Actually, he might have served his last game today, so I think they're 3-3 without Marchand, but they got 7 out of 12 points. So you don't hate that, especially coming off the road. And then today, I mean, look, they look great today. It's like 2 teams sometimes with this team. I don't know. Hopefully, this is one of those teams that just gets in the playoffs, and who knows? It's the NHL. Any team can freaking win the thing. We've seen this in years past. Yeah. But the way they played today against one of the NHL's best teams in Colorado, clearly talent differential. You see how close it is when these guys play up to their level, and they're not turning the puck over, and guys like Pastrnak and Hall are making a difference. And also the goaltender's playing pretty well. Swayman looks like he wants that number 1 spot right now. I think Ullmark has been okay. Swayman's the guy. I just think he is just, when he's on, he looked great today. He's comfortable in there, and I think it's tough for Rask to see him go down the way he did, but at the end of the day, I think it's good for the kid to play, because I think Swayman is now, he's the guy. Ullmark is here for $5 million, which I don't love. But all in all, I want Swayman to be the guy, and I think he has some issues still, but he's 22. He's still a young kid, but he's pretty good when he's on, and I would much rather have him in there, especially for a stretch run, than a 50% Tuukka Rask and Ullmark. So
absolutely,
if he's the guy and he's playing up to his level, I think they have a chance any given night.
I was concerned about what it would do to him mentally to have been here, and yeah, I mean, I think maybe the expectations were going to be were a little higher for what he would do, as the starter or being in the mix at the beginning of the year. Was starting to kind of hit a bit of a groove. Oh, back to Providence because we're bringing Tuukka back. Were you going to ruin the kid? And was it going to take like a year? Like you got to like bring him back and ramp him up for an off season. I don't think that's going to be the case, which is a relief. So that is good. Right now in the standings, I mean, you're 10 points up on Detroit to be in the playoffs. You're the second,
which is comfortable in the NHL. Yeah, that should be enough.
You're the second wild card team right now. I mean, 30 games to go, because they're playing 80, not 82 this year. Or are they playing 82?
I think it's 82.
It's 82, so 32 games either way left. So barring some sort of catastrophic collapse, which if you're beating Colorado 2-1, I think you should be able to avoid that. You're going to make the playoffs. In a way, Christian, would you rather them be a wild card team or sneak up and have to play out of the division?
I'm not sure it's going to matter all that much. They're not a terrible road team as is, so if they're a wild card team, I don't mind that, especially when they're going to get a good team. But I think that's why I think the NHL is just it's one of the best, just overall, just because. Once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. You get into a 7-game series, it doesn't matter home, road. So I don't really mind where they're at. I think they should, if they don't make the playoffs at this point, I think that's just a colossal collapse. But I think you're trying to improve at the deadline in some way, shape, or form, and then see what you have, and maybe you jump a couple spots. But I don't think it's going to be hard to catch, a top team now at this point. You're already too far into it. But 10 points up on Detroit, you're in the playoffs. You should not be out of the playoffs come end of season.
Yeah. If they didn't make the playoffs, Bruce Cassidy's job in trouble?
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah. So everyone should be motivated.
They're going to have a tough road trip now, though. 6 games here coming up on the road out West Coast. So They got to get at least a number of points there.
Yeah.
6, call it 12 points. What do you have to get? 8 maybe? Something like that. I mean, a couple of those teams are not great. The Kraken are not great. And then the rest of them are decent, not great. So Vegas, with the exception of Vegas, I think, you should be able to get at least 7, 8, 9 points out of that.
Yeah, Seattle's not having the expansion year that Vegas did. They will not be going to the Stanley Cup final.
I do not intend, indeed, to see them going to anywhere.
They do have the coolest logo, though.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And I think Seattle deserves a team. Why not? So why not? But they're not very good.
Seattle deserves everything. They deserve a basketball team, too. We went over this last week.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
Bring back
good sports town.
All the Tacoma. It's a great. Seattle is an awesome city. We got very lucky when I was out there. Like 2 straight days, no rain.
Pretty good.
In September, late September, it was remarkable. It was piping hot.
Or just your lottery ticket after that one.
I should have. Well, the luck turned around because the next day we had to buy 4 new tires for our car.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
The place we were gonna stay wasn't good. It swayed the other way. Oh, you want sunshine while you're in Seattle? Well, guess what? 8 other things are gonna go against you on the other side of this trip. But Monday, March 21st. So we hypothetically should be live that evening. That is the NHL Trade Deadline. So we'll be able to give you a primer for that the week before on March 14th, which is that's 2 weeks away.
I know, it's insane.
What? Excuse me? Excuse me. But yeah, that is around the corner. And then down the stretch we come. Last note on that note. Did you see the news today in the horse racing world, Christian?
No, I did not.
So Medina Spirit, who had won the Kentucky Derby and then was disqualified, officially stripped today of that victory. The trainer for Medina Spirit, lifetime ban, I think.
Wow, okay.
For, let's see, trainer suspended, how long? Oh, 90 days? What? I thought I heard it was okay, then that's a joke. Never mind. Maybe that should go on the knot. Hey, you doped the horse. You dupe people out of money. The horse now died. The horse died in December.
Yeah. 90 days.
90 days. That's probably in time for the Derby. How do you not ban that guy for life? Get out of here. Who would want to...
At least give him a couple of years off. What are we doing? 90 days.
Let me see. Hold on. When is the...
Does he even get suspended for any race? That's what
Kentucky Derby is May 7th. Let's see. Days till May 7th. 75 days. So
he's going to miss Kentucky Derby.
Going to miss the Kentucky Derby.
So does he miss the Triple Crown, though? That's the question.
Let's see.
One's before the Kentucky Derby. Or is that the final? Might be the final. I don't know.
No, because the Preakness is 2 weeks later.
So he's not making that.
On the 21st.
He's not going to make that one.
Not going to make that one. Let's see. Kentucky Derby. The Oaks is the 6th. So, let's see. Churchill down. Yeah. So, he's going to miss all of them.
All right. Well, I guess that makes sense then.
Yeah.
I still think it should be a couple of years, but hey, what do I know? I'm not in the know with the horse racing game, but from what I do know.
There's this thing for the Triple Crown. You scroll back, and it talks about... It has each winner from the past year. The crowds are back, and so are trainer Bob Beffer and jockey John R. Velasquez. Medina Spirit wins this year. Yikes.
That's an L. Yeah, that's an L.
Freezing cold takes. So anyway, just wanted to work. That was a tidbit of news. Wanted to work in at the end because that's a big deal. Unfortunately, nobody gets their money back.
Well, that's unfortunate, but hey.
Because not only did they vacate, Medina Spirit, they said, "Oh, whoever was second, you're now first."
But 90 days.
But you don't get your money. 90 days. Yeah. Go away.
Forget about it.
Yeah, that's nothing. This is nothing. So,
I would
Anywho's,
suspect if he does anything like that again, he will be banned for life. So
180 days.
Yeah.
Repeat,
Double it.
Repeat offender.
Yeah. Repeat offender, yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to wait for our, the video we get from, the horse racing authorities to describe. That guy would probably definitely have a very British accent. Really.
If it's anything like Gary Bettman, that guy will then appeal the suspension, and then after 178 days, here comes Gary Bettman, aka whoever the horse guy is, and then your appeal has been denied.
Whoever the Gary Bettman is of horse racing.
Yep, I'm sorry, I'm not that much in the know of the horse racing game.
Yeah. So, anywho, that is going to do it for the show here tonight. Thank you for joining and watching and listening along with us. If you missed any of the show, you can go back and watch on any of the live stream platforms. Or if you're a podcast listener, thank you for finding us on Sounder FM or wherever you get your podcast from. You can always email the show at any time, the360sportshow@gmail.com if you want to reach us, and I will peruse the mailbag. Nothing this week. I will give, though, a little bit of a pump here, though. For our social media people, go on and give us a follow on TikTok. We're trying to gain that following there because we could go there live as well if we can get enough followers on the TikTok page. So, if you're on TikTok, go right.
Got some pretty good stuff over there, too.
There's premium content. So we want to get the TikTok crowd involved here as well. So, anywho, for Christian Lauber, I'm Andrew Pizzelli. That'll do it, everybody. Have a good night.